My name is Patrice Williams. I'm a life designer. I'm a soul connector. I'm an alchemist. And this is the Professor Williams. Welcome to my channel.
All right, so it's just me with you guys now. We're going to bring Gabby on a little bit later. Thank you to all of the people who are here. And if you think somebody else needs to be here to talk about toxic text with us, I will not be offended if I see these numbers drop, just so that you can go out and get somebody and bring them back. Okay, so this was on my spirit real heavy because something happens when we have nothing but time. Toxic texts show up around all the holidays. Toxic texts show up when we don't have anything better to do. Toxic texts when people show up when people have birthdays and all the things. They come all the way through. Okay. And I was like, you know what? Let's talk about what this means. And in my classes, we talk a lot about renegotiating agreements. Okay. And since so many people feel like I'm snatching wigs, somebody said they were gonna be bald earlier and all the things. So for those of you who don't know, I teach in the psychology department at Spelman. Okay. And I was a psychology major in undergrad. And there's this thing called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Who knows about it? And yes, I still have Chablis and I have Gabby who are here moderating. So if you have any questions today, please, please, please go ahead and drop them as a comment, not in a suggestion box, so that they can make sure we see y'all. Okay. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs basically takes a overall look at the most important things that we need so that we can reach a place of self-actualization. Okay. So self-actualization is that basically everything you could possibly want. Complete synchronicity between your heart and your head and your spirit and your mind and your soul, and just basically being one with all of the things. Okay. So at the very base of this pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is basically your physiological needs. So we need water, we need food, we need rest, right? And then somewhere about the third line up, if you don't know what I'm talking about, feel free to Google it. About the third line up, it talks about love and belongingness as one of our basic needs, okay? So in a space where we're all at home, in a space that we don't have anything to do, in a space where we're running away from everything that makes us uncomfortable within ourselves, so we try to go find it somewhere else, we find ourselves reaching out to people. We find ourselves having people reach out to us about anything. Oh, I just thought about you. Oh, I was watching this thing on TV. Remember, we used to watch it together all the time. If you know what I'm talking about, go ahead, give me a butterfly or something. You start getting all of these random messages from people that you have not heard from in God knows how long. Sometimes you're the one sending it, especially if you've been assisted by anything in anybody's cup or any other substance that stops you from doing some of the things that you would do generally when you are in your right mind, right? So the texts fly. You miss people because you're by yourself. You were all the way by yourself. So toxic text stems from a space of boredom. Yes, thinking about me, huh? It stems from a place of boredom. It's about people who are unwilling to be honest with themselves and recognize that you're just a little bit lonely, and you go looking for what you need from yourself in everybody else. Specifically in people that you haven't talked to in a long time. And what it does is it validates the fact that you are important. We go looking for validation from other people that we matter just a little bit. And we have our friends, and we have the people that we talk to on a regular basis that say, yes, you matter. Yes, I love you. Oh my gosh, how are you? The people who check in on you regularly. But then sometimes they just not enough. Sometimes they are not enough. And in their not enoughness, you go looking from the people who used to tell you that all the time to see, do you still matter to them too? I'm just going to stop for 2 seconds because I think y'all know what I'm talking about, but I want it to sink in because there's going to be a whole lot coming today. And I'm slowing down long enough for you to go grab your notebook If you're not looking for validation, just wait. I have more. Because you may not know that you're looking for validation. A lot of times, up under all of it, that's what it is. So, how many of you have heard the idle mind is a devil's workshop, or an idle mind is a devil's playground? I'm not trying to attack you, I swear. I swear. That's why I started off with, I'm not blaming you. Let me just run it back for a second. There is no judgment here. There is no blaming here. There is complete full understanding, because if you heard me from the beginning, this is a basic need. Feeling loved, belongingness, physical touch, all of those things are basic needs. So there is no judgment whatsoever. None. None. And recognize if your idle mind is taking you to a place that's healthy, or if your idle mind is taking you to a place that's not healthy. Okay? Because if your idle mind is running, and your idle mind is taking you places that are unhealthy for you, and you know they're unhealthy, because when your mind isn't idle, you generally wouldn't go there. Come on, drag me with love and gather me in a hug. I got you. I got all the hugs you can need. We're actually seeking, it's not always external validation. Sometimes it's the places within us that are still a little bit toxic, because we're all growing, right? We're all working to be our very best versions of our very best selves. That's a fact. Maslow said we're trying to reach this place of self-actualization, right? So on this journey to being our best selves, we are going to continue to bump up against the things that show us the places in us that are not healthy. We will continue to find the spaces where we need healing. We will find the spaces where we need a hug. We will find the spaces where we were hurt as a child. A lot of times people say, who hurt you? Right? I saw that come through this comment a few times already. Who hurt you? But instead of figuring out who hurt you, we try to fill the void where the pain was left. Earlier today, we were talking about our favorite love songs in my office hours with my students. And a song came up as somebody's favorite love song, and it was Who Can I Run To by Escape. And the song goes, who can I run to fill this empty space? Who can I run to when I need love? Who can I run to? Which means you're running away from yourself and running to somebody else, or to something else, or to anything else, right? So to bring it back to the idle mind, being a devil's playground, being a devil's workshop, all of those spaces that have been simmering, that we generally cover with productivity, that we generally cover with busyness. And I got this meeting and I have that, and I have all of these other things that we got to do, right? To keep me away. We don't have anything else to focus on. So all of those things are going to rise to the surface. So maybe we're not looking for validation from someone else. All of the thoughts that we have in our brains, all of the thoughts that we have going on that are not necessarily healthy, that we are running from, are coming up so that we can find them. The places where we harm ourselves on the inside. And it doesn't have to be a physical harm. The places where we speak to ourselves poorly. The spaces where we talk about ourselves. The spaces where we are our own biggest critic. The spaces where we don't find love for ourselves. The spaces where we look in the mirror and we don't feel comfortable and we don't feel happy and we're judging ourselves all of the time. Those are the spaces that show up. And so we go and find a toxic playground to play in because we feel somewhere inside like we belong there. It's really just our external. We talked about this in the past couple of weeks. It's our external showing us what's going on with our internal. It's our experience being a mirror for our experience, because nobody stopped to say, who hurt you, to yourself. So we say, knowing good and, who is this? C. Stu, who said, knowing good and well we don't belong. You know you don't belong there, but sometimes you like to play there because it feels fun. Last week we talked about all these roller coasters, and oh, it's just so fun to be on the roller coaster. It's so fun. Yep. It's so fun to work against yourself because you don't believe that you deserve all the things that you've been expecting. We say, let me just go and dig up all these things and then go find the people who have previously validated in us the negative feelings that we think. We go looking for the spaces that validate the parts of us that are toxic. That's why the texts are toxic. Or the other person is doing the same thing. And it feels fun because it's like, whoa, I haven't heard from this person in forever. Or for some people who are receiving the toxic text, it's like, yep, I knew it. He was still thinking about me. Because you weren't thinking about you. Because we're running. We are running to all of those other places and spaces and things. So, my question to you tonight, go and get your pen right now. What does your playground look like? Because if the idle mind is a workshop, is a playground, what does your playground look like right now? What does your playground look like? Is it a sandbox? Is it full of dirt? Is it a swing set there? Let me explain what I mean by a mind's playground that's a swing set. Y'all not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready, so I know y'all not ready. A playground that has a swing set is you so busy trying to catch that high that you don't want to play. It's like, let me keep just trying to get above it. Because I was in the playground and it was uncomfortable and it was dirty and it was nasty. So let me just get above it again. So we spend our time not grounded. Thank you for these questions. Keep them coming. Okay? So we trick ourselves is what we do. We trick ourselves, even in sending the text messages. We trick ourselves into thinking that we care. Right? Like, oh, well, it's Corona and it's there's so much happening in the world. And so let me just go back and check on this old person. It's not that you care, it's your narcissism. Because if you cared, oftentimes when you send that text, you wouldn't be as mad as you are when they don't text you back. Because you've convinced yourself that it's you being caring and it's you being loving. And it's just, this person was really important to me in my life at one point. So let me just reach out and touch somebody. You don't care. You just want to feel that somebody else cares about you. What if you cared about yourself? Just what if? What else you ran? What else? I'm sorry, I can't even keep it together. Now it feels like Jurassic Park. What if you just ran to yourself? So I'm going to tell y'all a story, okay? My father is one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. And my daddy has a garden. Some of you who know me know that my dad gardens, okay? And I needed to go grocery shopping because, we all inside. We're in the inn and can't go into the out. So with me staying in the inn, I went to the inn at my father's house in real life 2 days ago because I needed some produce. So I went, and my dad has this beautiful garden in the front of his home, and his cabbages and kale and collard greens. And in the back, he has this whole blackberry bush. And over on the side, he has all the peppers and like sweet peas and all of the things that you could buy in a grocery store my father has in his front yard. He was so excited to tell me about how he was planting some onions and planting some potatoes. And I was like, Dad, you're planting potatoes? You've never done that before. He was like, yeah, I sprouted them. And you know how the potatoes get bad in the kitchen and they start to sprout the little stems or whatever. He was like, I chopped it up and I put it in the dirt. He was like, oh, but the things about potatoes, he's like, they're real interesting. So I was like, what do you mean they're interesting? He said, the thing about potatoes is they have to bury very deep because they grow underground. So the way to get them deep enough for them to really grow into the size potatoes that you need them to grow is right when you start to see the sprouts stick up out of the top, you got to go and cover it with dirt again. I'm going to wait and see if anybody is picking up what I'm putting down. Go ahead, shoot some hearts. Give me something. Give me some feedback. Y'all know I'm used to a whole classroom. So I need some feedback. So with these potatoes in the ground, right when they start to grow, in order for them to grow as deep as they possibly could grow, some of us choose to put ourselves into the situations where right when we begin to grow, we need dirt shoveled on top of us again to see if we really meant it. He was like, oh, you don't just do it one time. You got to do it a few times. You come back, it'll start to sprout and it'll come up out of the top. He was like, you can't let it get too big on top because all of that needs to be under the ground. All of the growth that you can see on top, you got to go back in. So he comes back regularly to make sure his potatoes, his brand new potatoes that he is so very excited about, don't sprout too high above the ground. You got to keep having the dirt dumped on top. Come on, not Mr. Potato. Not Mr. Potato Head. Some of us choose to be potatoes, but let me tell you, you don't have to be a potato. Some people can be a flower or an herb. I'm going to tell you about the herbs that's growing in my kitchen right now. So I have a little hydroponic herb garden sitting on my counter. And I have Thai basil, and I have regular basil, and I have parsley and dill, and a few different, maybe like 5 or 6 different herbs that are growing on my counter. Come on, 100 people. Y'all have no idea what this means to me. I just have to let you all know. Let me stop for 2 seconds and just say thank you, because in this moment, you all are watering my garden. My personal garden, you all are watering me, and it means the whole world. Thank you. But some of us can be a flower. Some of us can be an herb. And let's talk, I prefer to be the herbs, like the ones that are sitting on my counter. So the roots had to grow, but the roots are just growing into water. So I'm a Pisces, right? I love water. I'm a fish baby. And so the roots can kind of come out of the bottom and just float around in the water. They're having a real good time. It ain't no dirt. They don't need no dirt. They don't need no trash. They don't need no shit shoveled on top of them. They just growing into the water. They are growing into the water. And so much beauty is happening on top. They want all the light in the world. Okay? And the light is just catching it. And when I tell you they are just growing, matter of fact, I'm probably going to take a picture and put it on my Instagram so y'all can see what I'm talking about. And the herbs just grow. And then some of us want to be turnips or onions. Now, onion has the onion chives that you may be used to from like baked potatoes. Think about chives that grow out of the top of the onion. And there's a whole bulb underneath the ground. I want you guys today to choose what type of plant do you want to be today. Nobody is forcing you to be in these situations with these toxic texts and these toxic relationships because you are not willing to have a healthy relationship with yourself. Because you are not willing to water yourself, so you keep going to play in all the dirt. In all the places where the dirt belongs. Not John, I'm the first Pisces. I can't. Grow. Thank you, Miss Macklin. Miss Macklin was trying to give me paid, y'all. And what I'm not going to do is block any blessings that the Lord wants to send this way. Okay? Because we all in the house and times are a little bit different. But I need y'all to recognize that you get to choose whether you want to be a flower. You get to choose whether you just want the rain and appreciate the rain and the beautiful sunlight. And all the things that come to grow you above the ground. Okay? If you want to be a potato, nobody is going to stop you, because you're going to put yourself into all of the positions that you need for all of the dirt. And let's be very clear. So dirt ain't just dirt when it comes to gardening. Fertilizer is shit. So some of us go digging holes and then waiting for all of the people to cover us in all of the dirt and the fertilizer. We go looking for them to cover us so that we can break through it to try to find ourselves. And then we go find somebody else to cover us again. And then we go find somebody else to cover us in all of their version of fertilizer. And I'm saying it fertilizer for a reason, because perspective is everything. So many of us get so upset with these people that we call into our spaces in relationships. They did this to me and they did this. And no, you were choosing to be a potato. You are choosing the life of a potato. And potatoes are nutritious and delicious. Okay? Don't get it twisted. And so we go find the next person the minute we start to grow, and the minute we start to to reach on out of the soil. Please come cover me in your version of fertilizer, because I haven't grown enough yet. And I need somebody else to kind of stomp me back down so I can recognize that when I break open and when I break free from this dirt for real, for the real time, and I'm ready to come out and show all the people who I am, because I got to nourish all of the people in all of the places, in all of the spaces. I'm just going to sit still for 2 seconds, because that's what I'm feeling led to do. Because I'm going to wait, because I feel like I'm coming a little bit hard. No, potatoes are amazing. Y'all missed it. Don't hate the potato. You need the potato. Potatoes are good. Potatoes are filling. Potatoes are a blessing, specifically sweet potatoes. This isn't about not wanting to be a potato. It's recognizing your flavor of wonderful and what it requires for you to grow and choosing accordingly. Because when you don't, then you condemn your journey. Then you condemn all of the places and the spaces that have gotten you here. So appreciate whatever your journey has looked like, but if you have been a potato, and if you have chosen the life of a potato, I chose a potato for a long time. So once you choose that you no longer want to, or you have grown enough in your potato stage and you're ready to sprout for the final time, then y'all, I didn't even know this part was coming. Once the potato is ready, somebody gonna come dig it up and appreciate it and be nourished by it. And then the right person sometimes will come, and you think that you're a regular potato, and you find out you're a sweet potato because they done poured all the sugar and all the cinnamon and all the butter and all the love and all the light and all the gifts and all the resources and all the things, because they recognize how you were able to nourish them. This is not about condemning any part of your journey. This is not about not appreciating whatever stage you have been in. This is all about awareness. This is all about being willing to be honest enough with yourself to recognize if you would like to learn things a little bit differently now. And if not, that's fine. You can continue to be a potato and nobody is going to judge you, because I definitely have potatoes in my kitchen right now and I appreciate every last one of them. Thank you, Caitlin. I'm going to answer that in just a minute. I'm not here to tell you what version you were in. I'm not here to tell you what stage you were in. Frankly, it's none of my business. I'm here to help you recognize that you could possibly be something different than you originally thought you were. Because what all of the journeys do is call you to get to the space where you recognize and have faith in the fact that you can love and nourish yourself. Or at least know and trust yourself enough to find the healthy versions of love and the healthy spaces where love lies, like light and sun and rain. And don't get me wrong, rain can come down real hard sometimes. Ain't no right way to do the wrong thing, but there ain't no wrong way to do the right thing. Because the journey is going to get you to the right place anyway. And that's what's important to recognize. That if you are willing to shift your perspective about the places that you thought were so terrible, ain't no wrong way to do the right thing. What if you're in the healthy space at the wrong time? Okay, I'm going to run it back. There is no wrong time for the right thing, and vice versa. There's no wrong time. Because even if you're not under the dirt anymore and the rain is going to come down, sometimes the rain pours, sometimes the rain floods, sometimes the rain drowns. The sunlight is really, really good until you get too close to it, until it begins to burn. I know I'm not the only person who's had a sunburn before. So it's about perspective in all of the things. Some people choose fertilizer. Some people choose a drought or a flood. Some people choose the right amount of sunshine, too little sunshine. They like to grow in the shade and find themselves reaching all out to try to find the sun. And then they get to the sun, they have a little bit too much of it, and they might burn a little bit. Just be willing to recognize where you are in your journey, because that's what's going to provide the conditions for you to be abundant in whatever the thing is. The minute you recognize, you know what, this phase of my life has been a potato. And I recognize that I haven't gotten all the lessons that my potato phase need to teach me. So maybe I need to be covered one more time. If that's you, give me a heart. If you say, yes, I'm going to do all of these things, because then the right person will come. Once I get myself all the way together, then somebody else is going to appreciate and find me. If that's you, go ahead and shoot me a heart. Tell me the truth. Tell you the truth. It's really not you telling me the truth. Tell you the truth. Because if it is you, I need you to understand that's still not going to get you anywhere. If you are doing it so that somebody else can show up for you, you're not going to get it. It's a really difficult lesson that I need y'all to get real good this time. The only way to do this and receive the benefits is to do it for yourself. Because if you are doing it because there is something that does not exist in your experience, then the only thing that you can receive is the same. Because you are focusing on the fact that you are lacking something. So if I love myself, then somebody else will love me, means I recognize that there is nobody who loves me. And that is what you're focusing on. We used a resource in my class last week, a podcast. I can't remember the name of the exact title of it, but oh yes, I do. It's called The Soul of Money by Lynn Twist. And it's in Oprah Super Soul Conversations. So she says, what you appreciate appreciates. So in saying, I'm loving myself because then the right person is going to come find me, is appreciating the fact, is focusing on the fact, is intending the fact that there is nobody who loves you. Once you begin to just focus on yourself and just love yourself and just be there for yourself, for you, once you start to exercise, not to lose weight, but you exercise because it is healthy for your body, the weight loss will be a byproduct. Once you begin to love yourself, just because you love yourself, the rest of the people loving you will just be a byproduct. Once you focus on the true reason that it needs to happen, once you focus on even work. I'm working because I'm providing for this lifestyle. I'm working because I'm working right now. And I'm doing this because this is the thing that I feel more than anything in this world I was put on this earth to do. I feel in purpose. I feel on purpose. And as a byproduct, the people just show up. I didn't have an Instagram in the beginning of the year. That's real life. I haven't had one for 8 years. But once you do it for the right reasons, the rest of it will just show up. And please don't think I'm coming just for you, because I'm coming for me in ways too. And I'm honest enough to recognize that. When you focus on being kind to yourself, when you focus on having a healthy experience, your experience has no other option but to be amazing. It has no other option but to be healthy. Your relationships cannot be unhealthy if you are truly operating in love with yourself from a space of health. Abundance is a byproduct of you showing up for you. And that is what all of this corona is teaching us right now. Corona said, the way that you love me, the way that you love your mama, the way that you love your auntie, the way that you love your spouse, the way that you love your grandparents is by not showing up for them, but keeping yourself healthy enough so that when this is all said and done, y'all can all show up somewhere together. I'm gonna run it back. Corona said, go sit your butt down at home. Go wash your hands. Don't go frolic with any of the people because a lot of the people out here sick aren't showing any symptoms. They don't even realize that they are sick. So the way that you make sure that you don't catch somebody else's sick is by minding your health and making sure that you are well. Because if not, you have the ability to unknowingly go infect the people that you love with your shit. You not taking care of yourself can be attempted murder. You not taking care of yourself kills your relationships. You not taking care of yourself kills your health. You not taking care of yourself kills your job. You not taking care of yourself kills all the things. Share your story. Now I have to go back. They cut me off.
No.
They cut me off. Come on. Come on. I can't remember how to do this. No, that's not it. There. I'm just going to wait. It's okay. I forget that they cut me off at an hour. Y'all, I'm still here. We just gonna wait for the people to get back. I totally forgot that they cut me off at an hour, and I was right in the middle of some good stuff. We are back, and we better. We back. It's all good. We gonna wait for a second to let all the people come back. Instagram played the whole hell out of me, Lauren. It's okay though. We back. We back. We gonna wait. I was just getting started, Lauren. I was. It's okay. We almost here. We are back. We are back. I'm going to wait. Y'all are funny. We are almost here. Instagram. Somebody start a petition right now that says Instagram needs to have lives for at least 2 hours so Professor Williams can finish saying what she got to say. That's what I need somebody to do because this is just too much. Instagram knew it, right? Listen, it's okay. We almost back. We are here. We are here. We are here. We are here. Next time this happens, I'm going to let y'all know next week, because it's probably going to happen because I get to talking and I don't stop. But the next time this happens, during that break, between me getting off and coming back, go find somebody and bring them. Perfect time to share. Okay, we almost back. We got 94, y'all. That is so, 94 people are back. Okay. Whew. All right. Somebody tell me where I was. I just want to make sure y'all was listening. Who was listening? Who was listening? Where was I? Got a good stretch break. Thank you, W. Yes, we were talking about Corona, Kevin, but what were we talking about Miss Rona? Not Rona. What were we saying about Rona? Yes. Oh, yes. When you fix your sick first. That is the only way that you allow your whole garden to thrive. If you got one apple in the bunch if you got one apple in your bag of apples that's rotten, your whole bag is done. Okay? So Rona told us to go sit our butts down on the inside, so we're not out here accidentally not even knowing that we committing possible manslaughter. And so to think about manslaughter, now I don't know too much about the law. My sister's in law school and she is amazing. I don't know if sis is here, but manslaughter happens when you ain't even really all the way mean to. Manslaughter happens when you driving and minding your very own business and you were leaving the party and you just had one glass of wine, not 10. Sissy, tell me if I'm saying this right. That's my sister, y'all, Miss Lisa J. Tell me if I'm saying this right. But if I'm minding my business and leaving the party and just trying to get home and I have one glass of wine, now I'm not even for real drunk, but I got a little bit of liquor in my system, and I hit somebody with my car and they don't make it. Now, I had no intention to go out here and kill somebody. I didn't come out here, and I might be wrong. I might not be using the right terms, but y'all picking up what I'm putting down, whether I'm using the right terms or not. But if somebody does not make it on my accident, not meaning to hurt nobody, not even really recognizing how under the influence I may or may not be, come on, under the influence of the devil's playground, not understanding where I'm really standing, and I accidentally harm somebody else, that's attempted manslaughter. So the same is true. That's why this whole governor's order that if you don't sit your butt down at home during a real time, then it's $1,000 fine or 30 days in jail, because you have the ability to go out killing folks. And people don't say it like that, like it's real or involuntary. Thank you, sissy. Involuntary, what, manslaughter? I think that's right. But whether you mean to or not, that's what this is about. That is why so many of you got so triggered by the idea of this Toxic Text Live. You were triggered because something in you knew that you were out here, just firing shots, and you showing up to the party. You like, wait, where they shooting at? Let me come say hey. We got to do better, people. And the thing is, you have to be able to first forgive yourself in the spaces where you have allowed toxicity, because that's just you being a potato. It's okay. It is okay. But then also recognize that you don't have to continue to do that. Dressed in all. So remember last week when we were talking about riding all the roller coasters and all the things? And y'all were like, but wait, we really like roller coasters, and it was really fun. Okay. I'm just telling y'all, you have the ability to shift. You have the whole ability to shift your experience, and literally life in the world as we know it has called for us to sit our butts down so that we can do the work with ourselves, so that we aren't out here harming people, so that we aren't out here shooting people with our emotions that we aren't willing to face. So many of us are harmed from relationships that we were in, or how did they do this to me? And I let them, because really that's what it is. I let them do that again and again and again. And you keep going back saying, but hey, are you there? What you doing at 3 o'clock in the morning? There's a cost. Yes, Sierra, they were charging. They still charging. They ain't never not charged. You just weren't paying in cash. So many people been paying this whole time, thinking that it was something they had to spare, but they didn't. I'm about to cut this short because we already at 9 o'clock and we ain't even got to questions. Stop looking for other people to fill the void in you that the only person can fill is you. Stop it. Stop shooting people in your attempt to run from yourself, and stop allowing yourself to be shot. You need to have a whole heart-to-heart conversation with yourself and figure out the places and spaces that need to be healed so that you can be out here flourishing in an abundant garden, and that everything that you touch, this is one of my personal mantras, everything that I do, every space that I enter, everything that I touch, and every person that I encounter is made better as a result of my impact with them. This is my personal mantra that I carry throughout my life. But the way that you are actually able to deliver on that, just in case you want it to be yours, is if you are willing to sit down with yourself and do the work first so that your impact is helpful and not harmful. Everything that I do, every space that I enter, every person that I encounter is made better as a result of my impact with them. Is made better as a result of me encountering them. Everything that I touch, everything that I do, every space that I enter, every person that I encounter is made better. But the only way I can be mindful about being better externally is if I was willing to be better internally. And I'm not saying that shit is easy, because it is not. It's a lot of shit that ain't easy. Being shot at ain't easy too. But a lot of y'all run into that party. Choose. Or not. Because at the end of the day, I did my work. Right? I'm not telling you what you got to do. I'm not here to make you have to do nothing with nobody. Never. But now that you are aware, you get to choose what you would like to do. If you want to keep going to the party, do it. Ain't nobody gonna stop you. And there's gonna be plenty of folk there ready to shoot you. Plenty. They're gonna be waiting. Matter of fact, you ain't even gotta go to the party no more. The party is called Instagram. They sliding in the DMs as far as I heard. Kevin, come back. I need a question. Somebody give me some questions. Gabby, are you ready to come join me? Because Gabby and Chablis have been racking up the questions tonight for me. I need you to be able to see and walk as long as you can see yourself. You ain't got to see not nobody else. There was somebody who dropped a question in the comment box in the last live. I need y'all to put the question in the comments because we're not in that live no more. Hey, John. The name of my class is Designing Your Life. And before we get into the questions, real quick, just so y'all know what's coming, I've been a life coach for quite some time. I have individual clients outside of this class, Designing Your Life at Spelman, but I am working to curate content on YouTube and to open up group sessions, and I'm opening up some new spaces for individual clients. So if you are wanting to join me in an intimate space where we can do some of this work and I can really walk you through it, not just talk about it, I'm making all of that right now. I'm opening up all the spaces for that to happen. Okay. Gabby, you cute, girl.
Thank you.
Hey, Pooh. Also, real quick, y'all, I'm very excited about this new thing that I'm starting. I've already started filming for it. If you were watching my story over the weekend, I love music, okay? And so y'all know we have the Soul Sessions, and DJ Rico Belli does our Soul Sessions with us on Monday nights, but we're going to have a whole nother Soul Sessions on Thursdays at YouTube, okay? And those Soul Sessions will be me basically breaking down love songs as lessons for you to love yourself. Just wait. It's about to be amazing. Definitely in the process of writing a book for those who want to know. It's about to be a real good time. I cannot wait for y'all to see what I'm working on. It's about to be great. But Gabby, come on, tell me what you got today. What questions do we have?
Okay, first, a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but a few people were a little confused about the analogy about the onion and the flour and potato.
Okay, let's talk through it. So let me talk y'all through the anatomy of plants, okay? So, potatoes grow under the ground, okay? Potatoes grow all the way under the ground. And in order for the dirt to get high enough for the potatoes to root as far down as they need to go, according to my daddy who gardens, okay? I don't know nothing about this for real, but he gave me a long lesson the other day. Potatoes are way under the ground, and you have to keep shoveling dirt so they can get low enough so that they can grow down, okay? For y'all can't see. So they can grow down. Then you have onions, or think of turnip greens. Turnip greens might be better. So turnips grow under the ground. The root of the turnip grows under the ground, but then you have the leaf that grows on top. So if you eat turnip greens like collard greens and like kale greens, the leaves are on top, but underneath the onion grows under the ground. The turnip grows under the ground too. So you got some underneath that want all the dirt and all the love, and then also has the flower. So they're getting both at the same time. Okay. These are the people, I'm trying not to comfort nobody, y'all. But these are the people who, you know me sometimes, Gabby, I have to think this through. Who love themselves and are teaching other people how to be loving and all the self-help and all the stuff, but in the worst relationship you ever seen, act like don't nobody know it. That's a turn up. So you got a whole lot of toxicity going on and you think don't nobody know, but you out here spreading all the light and love up here, and you still got your potato going on at the same time, which is okay. Again, I have been there too. And then you have your flowers where you just got some roots where you have planted firmly into the soil. You have gotten grounded. You are willing to recognize that life comes with dirt. And life comes with some fertilizer here and there, but you're not trying to be all the way covered in that thing. You're not trying. You're not here for it. You just like, I'm out here to grow and love the sun and the rain and the water. Does that make sense?
Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was better.
What else we got?
Okay, so this is one of the questions someone in the chat asked, and it's, how do we break away from running?
First of all, you got to recognize that you're running. So if for whatever reason you hear that song, who can I run to? And you just get these feelings all up in your spirit, and you real excited about it, and that's your jam, take inventory. I'm not saying don't love the song. I love Escape. I love 90s music across the board. And recognize that you are looking for other people to fill your void, and that the only person who can fill it is you. Once you recognize you are running, you stop running and you go sit your butt down and you work with yourself. You take yourself away from the people. Literally, Corona is the best teaching tool. What do? When you are too toxic for the outside, you go and you sit your butt inside and you do what needs to happen there. That's it.
Okay.
What else we got?
How do we stay away from toxic texts? Or can we stay away from them?
Yes. Whenever you feeling so lonely that you need to reach out to somebody else, reach out to yourself.
Or what about when someone sends you one?
Oh, it's cute. So when somebody sends me a text, but here's the thing. Recognize the fact. My YouTube link is going to be it's always in my description box. So the most recent link, I'll swap it out. And it'll be like in my bio section of my IG. But bring me back. Where was I, Gabby?
We said, is it possible to stay away from toxic text?
Okay. So yes, it's possible to stay away, but when people send them to me, it's not always cute in a negative way, but it is like I'm recognizing the fact that some things are coming up for you and you are trying to distract yourself from them. And it's okay. That's all. I see you. I understand what you're going through. And it's okay to find it within yourself. That's all.
Okay. We just got a question that came in.
Come on.
Do you think it is beneficial to do the work while being in a relationship?
That is a very good question. And it depends on a few things. You have to recognize, number one, if this other human that is in this relationship with you is willing to do their own work. If you are in a relationship with somebody and you are willing to do your own work and they are willing to do their own work and you are willing to communicate effectively together, then possibly. I didn't say yes, I said possibly. Because what we often forget is that there are people who are here to help us see the toxicity that's in us and they reflect it back to us, and that is their job. And instead of honoring them for the space that is their job, we try to hold on to them and give them 15 more. The lawn man did not come to do your gutters and to take out your trash and to do your dishes and to cook you a meal. He came to do the lawn. So you have to let him or her do the lawn. And when the lawn has been done, you appreciate the person for doing the lawn and you allow them to move on so that they can not be a potato and experience their next flavor or next version of wonderful, and you do your job elsewhere too. There are circumstances and situations sometimes where the lawn man might decide, but I really do like to cook. And specifically for you, I want to do all the rest of the things. There are some times in situations where you can be like, you know what, let's do this together. Now, I don't all the way know how to cook, but we can learn this together. But it has to be people who are willing enough to do their own work in the process. But sometimes we are just there to recognize the space where the toxic lies for us. So that is a case-by-case basis, and it's not a one-fits-all, answer. It's not.
I have a question, actually.
Okay.
Something you just said. Like, I know sometimes in relationships, people are always willing, not always, some people are willing to give a whole lot. So they may be willing to wash the dishes. At what point are you taking advantage of that person because they're willing to go the extra mile for you?
You are always taking advantage of somebody who is taking advantage of themselves. Always. You are always taking advantage of somebody that is taking advantage of themselves. So if the person is wanting to you call them to do the lawn, and it's like, well, if he want to wash my dishes, I'm going to let him do that too. Do you need a dishwasher? Do you not know how to wash your own dishes? Because if you don't know how to wash your own dishes, and that's why you're allowing them to wash your dishes, and you are doing yourself and them a disservice. Because oftentimes, the minute you learn how to do your dishes on your own, you have no need for them. So what you are really doing by allowing them to fill that space and to fill that void is continuing to shovel shit on your potato.
Okay.
I got 3 questions on my side in the comment box. Okay, how do you address toxic family members who are in your immediate household when they don't want to listen? Number 1, recognize that everybody is grown, and if you are in somebody else's household who is paying their very own bills, there is a space where your grownness can sit down. And I don't mean that in an ugly way, but I mean it in there is a space where you can honor the people who are paying some of the bills, or you can go pay them yourself. See, I don't live with people who pay my bills, because I enjoy my freedom and my space. And I understand that some of you are growing. Here's a beautiful thing. Some of you want to be parents. Some of you want to be in relationships. Some of you need to renegotiate your agreements. Okay. And we were supposed to talk about this today, but we got led a whole different direction. Okay. So renegotiating your agreement recognizes you being willing enough to sit down with yourself, honor what it is that you're wanting, what it is that you're realizing, and what it is that you're desiring from a relationship with anybody, be it your parent, be it your spouse, be it your child, be it your friends, and being willing to come to an agreement before you can say that anybody is breaking the rules in the agreement. Okay? So I'm going to have a masterclass on renegotiating relationships. I've helped quite a few people through renegotiating their relationships. And the first step in being able to do that is being honest enough with yourself to recognize what it is that you even want from a situation, realizing in the space with your parents that I'm not in my household. That's a realization. I'm used to being able to do things with my friends, however I want to, whenever I want to. No, can't do that. I'm used to being able to blah, 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 blah. So let me recognize the fact that that is not my current situation. And if I continue to believe that that is my current situation, I will be doing a disservice to myself because I need to readjust myself. Needing to do that is the equivalent of looking at your bank account. And if you only have $100 and you mad that you spent or wrote a check or did something for $150 and it didn't come through, you have to recognize what you have, be willing to realize what your situation is, and then adjust accordingly. And if you end up with a surplus at some point, then maybe you get all your wants met. But what are your basic needs? Matter of fact, before we leave, I have a student who said, Kaylin, there she is right there, who renegotiated an agreement with her parent, and I'm going to let her talk about it a little bit before we leave for good tonight. Let me see. Another question. And if y'all can drop the questions in the comments, please, it would help a whole lot. How do you shift your mindset from I'm loving me so that others will love me accordingly to I'm loving me just for me when you, let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know I could do that. That's really cool. Never knew that could happen. Basically, how do you shift from loving yourself for somebody else to loving you for you is recognizing that that's what it is and being brave enough, being willing enough to sit with yourself when you don't love yourself and find ways to love the spaces that you don't love. You have to find the spaces where the voids lie and be willing and able to shift that perspective. I'm sorry, Kaylin. Okay, maybe we'll do that next week. I'll prepare her better. I'm not going to do that to you, Kaylin. She said, hold on. No. And then the last question I got over here was, how can you control being triggered when you receive a toxic text? You can untrigger yourself by being willing to deal with your stuff. That's how.
So we had another question.
Okay.
About toxic text. Someone asks, how do you differentiate between toxic text and like a genuine text, I guess, from like you know what I'm trying to say.
So the truth of the matter is something in the pit of your soul called intuition will tell you. And I wish there was a better way to put it. You know when somebody is on some trickery, and you know when somebody is not. And even if they are or are not, how you receive it oftentimes tells you where you are in your process. Because just because somebody else is in a healthy space and they are willing to like really just like, this could be perceived as toxic and really is not even my place to check in on you, but I'm going to anyway. And you can say, truth of the matter is I'm not in a space to receive that right now. And that doesn't mean you have to say anything back. But you can recognize when you gonna go down the whole wrong road if you open up a conversation with somebody that you haven't talked to in a long time. And in the same way, forgiveness does not require an apology. Checking in on somebody doesn't mean that you actually reach out to them. Sometimes you can just be like, let me just send them some love. Let me send them a prayer. Let me stop for a second and check in with whatever version of the divine I believe in. Call it God, universe, spirit, source, higher power, whatever it is that feels good and comfortable to you. And when you check in with that space and you say, whatever it is, whoever you are that I believe in, I ask that you protect them and you cover them and you show up for them and you send the right versions of love and peace and whatever into this person's life. That's what love looks like. Love looks like you being able to care for somebody without them needing to tell you that it was you who did it. Love does not require, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't require control. It doesn't require you putting a stamp on it. It doesn't require saying, yep, that was mine. I bought that for them. You see that dress she got on? Yep, that was mine. That time we went out to eat? No, that was me who paid for it. Love does not require that.
Okay.
I see you. What love looks like. We're going to talk about that. I like that. What else we got, Pooh?
When do you know you stop running from yourself, and what happens if you relapse back into toxic behaviors?
So, this is what we're going to be talking about next week. I'm so excited about it. So next week, I'm going to give y'all a preview. Well, it's not a preview. I'm going to give you the title. Next week, we are going to be talking about awareness. We're going to be talking about awareness. And awareness starts with recognizing where you are. Okay? So before we go relapsing, the way you... okay. So what y'all don't know about me is I used to be a substance abuse counselor in prison. Some of y'all know that. If you're my student, you know that. That's where I started. Was a substance abuse counselor. And the way that you don't relapse, number one, and this is why I say toxic texts are the devil, okay? Because the number one step, once you have come out of addiction, is to stay away from the people, places, and things that would trigger you. If that means you used to do drugs at your mama's house, you can't go to mama's house no more. And I know that sounds really crazy, but maybe mama can come to yours. If the thing or the person who you were dating during that time, y'all used to do whatever together, and that is your trigger, you can't be around them. No, you can't text them, and you need to block them on your phone from being able to receive a toxic text, because there's a good chance you're going to go back down that road if you reassociate with the people, places, and things, because your brain creates a connection, right? So songs, that's the best way to talk about it. There are certain songs that you hear that you know exactly where you were, exactly what you were doing. Oh, this is the first time I did X, Y, and Z. Whenever that song comes on, right? Boom. It takes you back to this place. This is why we don't go back to the people, places, and things. Feel free to block them. Block them with love. You block them from your phone and you send them all the love and light into their experience. It is none of your business what their version of happiness looks like once you are no longer a part of their experience. It is not their business what your version of love, light, and happiness looks like once they are no longer a part of your experience. It's not your business. So free yourself from that idea. What else we got? This is going to be our last question.
Oh, dang.
Make it good.
From last week. It has to be said.
Okay, well, two. So I'll take the one from last week and then give me one more real good one.
Okay. What should you do when your partner is still grieving their ex 7 months into the relationship?
Okay. So awareness is key. Honesty is key. If you are grieving a partner who has passed and is no longer in the physical plane, no longer alive, then you need to get a hold of yourself, partner, because that's okay. Like, there are ways and spaces where death hits, because death is an equalizer and it reminds you that all things can be terminated. Okay. And so there's a whole nother level of processing. I'm not saying you have to stay with that person. I'm saying you get to recognize if this person's grief is a toxic space for you. If it's grief that they're not together anymore, if it's their ex that's still alive and like down the street or across the campus, then sweetheart, they're not actually in relationship with you. They are calling it that. Y'all not in a relationship. They're in a relationship with their ex, and you need to be realistic with yourself. And if you are open to a polyamorous situation, and that's okay if you are, then join the party. It's all good. If you are not open to this, then release yourself and go somewhere else. Nobody is doing anything to you if you are staying in a relationship where somebody is mentally, spiritually, and emotionally with somebody else. And whatever one person's version and flavor of healthy looks like does not automatically have to be yours. We are absolutely doing a masterclass on renegotiating relationships, because that is a whole nother 2-hour segment. If I really went into that, that's another 2 hours.
What if you thought you were ready to rekindle this particular relationship and you get triggered again?
Stop lying to yourself. That's very simple. You are lying to yourself. The crux of all of this is not just awareness, but the ability to be honest with you. You have to be willing to be honest enough with yourself that if it is not healthy for you, then you release it. In the same way that if somebody is an alcoholic in real life and they have released alcoholism, and you're going to go to a party where you know the drink's going to be flowing left and right, and you are not in a position to go to a space where there is all the alcohol in the world and not drink, that place is toxic for you. That does not mean that it's toxic for 99% of the other people who would show up to that party. It is toxic for you. And you need to be honest enough with yourself. Rather than walking willingly into a space of toxicity, you turn yourself around and go somewhere else. It's not about anybody else doing anything to you. This is all about what you are doing to you. This is all about what you are receiving from you. This is about what you are willing to give to you. And if you are not willing to give health, wealth, happiness, abundance to yourself, you are not going to receive it from anywhere else. You're not. And it may look like it, it might feel like it might smell like it might taste like it in the same way that Nutella tastes like chocolate frosting, but it is not. It is not. It is not the same thing. You got to be real. I am complete for the day. Because what y'all don't know in real life is I get paid to do this. Amen.
Period.
So, we got an hour and a half tonight. This has been amazing. Yes, I have homework. Thank you, Sheblis. Who's ready for homework? If you are really ready for homework and you will really do the homework, I need you to let me know. And then on top of that, you're going to screenshot. Well, no, not the homework I'm about to give you. I don't want to screenshot. I'll give you something to do this week to let me know. Whew. Homework. Homework looks like you writing a love letter to yourself. I need everybody here, men included. Don't give me that shit just because I'm a man. That's too much. I don't do that frou-frou shit. Whatever. Yes, you're going to do it today. If you expect me to be back here next week. Okay? Thank you, David. Y'all help me with this. I don't know nothing about social media for real. I ain't been on here for 8 years in real life. Okay? But what I need you guys to do is I need you to sit down with yourself this week. And first, what I want y'all to do is identify all the places and spaces where you want somebody to love you. Yes, Martober, and we don't parlay with toxic femininity either.
Ooh.
Neither. Ain't nothing here with me gonna be toxic, period. So first, what I want you to do is identify all of the spaces and all of the places that you are wanting to receive love from somewhere else. And this is just you with you. So it ain't nobody else's business exactly what you do outside of the fact that you do it. Then I want you to take some time. I want you to write it all down, step away from it, come back to it, and write some more about all the places that you are wanting to receive love from somebody else. And then I want you to step away from it for a whole day. Don't touch it. Don't look at it. Don't think about it for one day. And then when you come back, I want you to look at all, because a lot of people will say, oh, just go write a love letter to yourself. I am giving you the tools to do it. I'm giving you the breakdown so that it won't be as difficult as that feels. Okay? Because it can feel really high level to just be like, oh, go write a love letter to yourself. Roses are red, flowers are blue. I love me. You should love me too. No. Every single space that you are wanting love from anybody else, and I don't just mean romantic love. Anywhere you are wanting love from anybody else. And then what I want you to do, step away from it for at least a day and then come back to it. And then I want you to identify all the ways that the places that you want love from somebody else, you can give it to yourself. All of the places. Okay? So if you need to spend more time with yourself, because you are wanting somebody who will just spend time with you. If you are wanting something or somebody to make you a priority, how are you making yourself a priority? How are you making your emotional needs a priority? How will you choose to consume differently? We talked about mindful consumption last week. So what will you be consuming so that you can give yourself what it is that you're wanting from somebody else? And not so that somebody else will give it to you, but just because it's healthy for you to have. And instead of looking for it externally, how can you find it on the inside? Spend a week writing this letter. Spend a week writing this letter. 2 days of what it is that you're wanting from somebody else. Do it on day 1. Put it down. Yes, this is finding your very own love language. Absolutely. On day 2, what is it that you're wanting from somebody else? Put it down. On day 3, nothing. Day 3, you're going to rest. Don't touch it. Come back. Day 4. All the things that I'm wanting from somebody else, how can I give it to myself? Hey, Mama Micah. We got to get Mama her own IG so we can add another number to this live. Day 5. Come back to it again. Do the same thing. Day 6, write it out in an actual letter. Homework. You guys are amazing. This warms my heart in ways that you cannot begin to believe. I tell y'all all the time, I feel more on purpose and in person than on purpose and in purpose than I ever have in my entire life. Thank you for feeding me in the same way that I hope to be feeding you. We're going to keep this thing up. We're going to have a real good time. Bring somebody else next week. Okay? We're going to switch it up for you guys next week. Gabby will not be with us. We will be bringing somebody else out.
Ooh.
Okay? And we're going to keep this thing moving. Let's make this a whole movement. Let's make sure that as many people as possible leave this quarantine in a much different way than they entered it. And the way that it is my goal and my prayer to make everybody leave themselves is fully, absolutely, wholeheartedly, 1000% in love with themselves. Because then the whole world will feel love. Because it will just be an automatic byproduct of you loving you. You all are amazing. Check out my YouTube. Please go subscribe there, okay? It is in my bio. I need just as many people here as I need there. Let's keep this moving to all of the people.
Also, someone asked if you can make a post about the letter, like the instructions for each day.
Yes, I can do that. I can do that. Give me a second to put it up.
I feel it. I understand.
Give me a second. Okay? You guys are amazing. I cannot wait to see you guys next week. Please show up for me on my story. Go find some people to follow me. Let this keep growing in all of the ways. Love and light to every last one of you. I told y'all this last week. I think I'm going to sign off with this every single week. I'm so excited for your journey, for you to love you. And in all the places that you don't love you yet, I will love you in the gap. And I will hold this space wide open with all the love that I have in my heart in surplus so that you can find it for you. I will save this live. Thank you, Davia. I saved the first portion. It's already up. Y'all have a good one.